August 1st. August 1st. I mean, give me a break. Who would have thought? Wasn't it just a couple of weeks ago we were doing January and February shows, and now we are on August 1st. Oh, well. Give it time, and it's going to be my birthday. Oh, anybody got a birthday this week? So you make sure that the church sound is off, reverb. So welcome to the very first show in August, and it just feels weird. I'm not sure, but it feels like time is going faster. Anyway, welcome to the show tonight. How's everybody doing? I got two little guys here. A white one. Can you guess which one this one is? This is a white one, and this is a black one. Can you guess which one this is? Well, of course you can. Okay, because I mean I've had them around here so long that everybody should be used to them by now. All right, so this is the ZV-E1, and that's the topic of the show tonight. Yeah, sometimes I do talk about cameras. So welcome to the show. This is the A7C2, which is different than the A7C1, and this is the ZV-E1. So the white one is the ZV-E1, and the black one is the A7C2. So I'm going to do a little bit of a rundown, but first, let's say hi to everybody that's here, because by the time I finish this rundown, half of you guys go to sleep. So I see Howl is in here. How you doing, Howl? Howl is right here, same town as me, down here, South Florida. So when I say hi to him, I'm saying hi to a local friend. And Woody is semi-local. He's just 3 states away. But he's been around so long, it feels like he's a part of the family. It's the way it is. And Martin, I only get to see you every once in a while, Martin. How you doing? How's my buddy? All the way over from across the pond, and he's saying good evening, Peter. And here's my big boy, Sammy. How you doing, Sammy? How things going? Boy, you're in the middle of summer. You're not in school. You're at home. And I hope everything is going well. I haven't talked to you in a while, but I guess this week we will talk. So Martin is saying happy Friday. Happy August 1st. Is it August 1st where you are, Martin? Yeah, I think this it's 6. Oh, no, it's August 2nd there, because I think it's 6 hours past me, which would take it past midnight. So your August 1st is gone, and your August 2nd is here. Woody says I have a birthday on Monday, 70 years old. 70 years old, I'm 72. Golly gee whiz, Batman. Where's my church? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Woody. Everybody say happy birthday to Woody. Happy birthday to you. I would say how old are you now, but I know it's 70. I would say how old are you now, but I know he's 70. Happy birthday, dear Woody. Happy birthday to you. Okay, let's turn the church off. There we go, there we go, there we go. So happy birthday, Woody. I hope you have a good time. I hope it is summer, so maybe the grandkids can come over. Carly, and I forgot your grandson's name. Luke or Lucas? I think it's Luke. I hope you get to see them, because I know you love the grandkids. I know you love the grandkids. So happy birthday, buddy. Happy birthday to you. Norm says happy birthday. Oh, no, Merry Christmas, Peter. And good evening, Greggies around the world. It's a long weekend here in Canada. Heading to a craft show to check out the photo opportunities. That's where you get fun. Fun, fun, fun till your daddy takes your t-shirt. No, your T-bird away. Give me time, okay? It's not the same as when I was just a mere 70 years old, okay? So, Norm, you didn't say anything about the chicken. Do your kids come over anymore? In the summertime, they don't come over for dinner on Fridays. Because I know you do something, is it the Seder or something like that? And they come over and they eat and you spend time together and you're just a wonderful, wonderful dad. Wonderful dad. That is Norm. So Martin says it's 3 o'clock where he is, which is over in the UK. Happy almost birthday, Woody. Jim's got it right. Okay, so happy birthday from Jim. And Scotty is saying, how's the chicken, Norm? See, I knew the chicken was involved in there. And Randy is saying, hi, everybody. Happy birthday, Woody. Oh, we got a new member here. Yes, we do. So Randy went to the vet to pick up Wanda's ashes. Wanda is a dog that recently recently had to be put to sleep. I mean, it was terrible. I watched because Randy was sending me lots and lots of pictures, so I was able to see her. So he went to the vet, and lo and behold, somebody just dropped a dog off. They tried to put the dog in the shelter. They found it in the street. Beautiful dog. So if you want to see what the dog looks like, and you want to see pictures that Randy's been taking in the last 3 days, so it's a boy and it's a German Shepherd, and it's very young, but you could see how thin he is. Whoever had him was not taking very good care of him at all. I don't know why I feel thirsty. So when I drink, you drink. I don't know. Maybe I should have put a little water in a lemon in the water. So Woody is saying thank you to everybody that wished him a happy birthday. Jim and Randall and Peter for singing to him. Hello, Woody. Yes, chicken. Oh, I made chicken legs tonight. Oh, I wish I knew how to take a picture off my phone and put it in here. I took a picture of the chicken. I made chicken. I started to make lollipop chicken. Anybody know what that is? So lollipop chicken is when you have chicken legs and you stand them up and they kind of dip them in the sauce, stand them up, put them in the oven, and let it get all crunchy. And I decided to not do the stand-up part because you got to cut the end off, then you got to pull the skin back up, and when you pick it up, it looks like a lollipop. But just for the 3 people we got here, Peter didn't need to make lollipops out of his chicken. I wanted to, but I didn't do it. So Jeff is here all the way from Australia. Good day. What have I missed? It's 12 p.m. here. Oh, we're in a time thing? Well, right now it's 10:10 over here. Okay, so now we all know what time it is everywhere. All right, so let me entertain you. Let me show you how. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-dum, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. Let me make sure I'm not talking in the church hall. All right, so the Z, A to Z, okay? So the ZV-E1 is a 12 megapixel camera, which makes it a low light blockbuster. Plus, it's got a dual ISO that's very high. I think it's something around 640 or 800 or something like that, which is normal for the bottom end. But normally you'll just start at ISO 100. But it gets noisier and noisier and noisier. And then all of a sudden at a certain ISO, boom, it goes right back to being clean again. So what's up with that? They call that dual ISO, okay? So a lot of cameras have it. So this is a dual ISO camera, and it's called a dual ISO camera. Unlike, let's say, Sony, the A7 Mark IV. They don't call it. Sony doesn't call it a dual ISO camera, but people have proved over and over and over that somewhere around ISO 3200 that you get a clean image again in low light. So it functions like a dual ISO, but I did look it up, and I don't know why Sony, in their wonderful marketing, says this is dual ISO, but it doesn't say that the A7 Mark IV is, but it is, okay? So I don't want people that own the A7 Mark IV to be thinking, oh, my camera's not dual ISO. Yes, it is. I'm gonna call the Wham-bulance. Wham! Okay, anyway. So back to this guy. So this camera, the sensor, the workings, almost all of it, not quite. This one's a little more advanced because it's newer. So it's got AI where it helps it in the focusing. So the focusing on the ZV-E1, basically second to none. It's top of the line focusing. So this camera and the FX3, $3,800 versus $2,198 or $2,398 now. The price went up. Okay, so I have this for sale on Facebook Marketplace for $1,850. And this one is like a brand spanking new camera. As a matter of fact, I'm even giving the Ulanzi, it's not over here. Oh, it's over there. The Ulanzi fan, which is a separate fan that you buy, and I have a silver one that I bought just for this, for the overheating features. But mine doesn't overheat. I'm going to have to do a test of some type and see how I can get it to overheat, especially now that we're having crazy, crazy hot days. All right, so this camera, the A7S Mark III, the ZV-E1, all three are the same camera, which is quite a mouthful. So you could buy the same camera in 3 different kinds of iterations. You could buy it at a lower price, put the same sensor, the same guts, the same everything, put it in an FX3 and raise the price to $3,800, and you will have a professional level where it's got even the 1/4-inch holes all over it so that you can rig it out, mount it up like the FX30. So the FX3 and the FX30 are kind of like brothers. All right, but this one is a brother too. I was going to say stepbrother, but it's not a stepbrother. It's the same. You're going to get the same picture. And that's what really pulled me in to buy the ZV-E1. And then I grew into liking it because of some of the features that it has. And this camera has a feature that no other camera, well, one other camera that I know of, has. And that is if I take a crop sensor lens, which I don't have one, but that would be the lens that's on the A7C II. So the C2 has got a crop sensor lens. So that's one of the major differences. So I might as well just get into it right now. When you put a crop sensor lens on the camera on your right, my left hand, almost every other camera in the Sony line, and actually every other camera, doesn't matter if it's a Canon or a Nikon or any other camera, trying to think of full frame, it will go into a crop mode, like a APS-C, which is a 1.5 crop. Same thing happens with the Canons. If you put a crop sensor, if you put a crop lens onto a Canon, as well as this one, it goes into crop sensor mode. That's all well and good. That's the way it probably should be. And it keeps people from making mistakes and shooting where you have a big black circle like a vignetting. Okay, so this lens is a crop sensor. So when I turn this camera on, it's automatically in the crop sensor mode. Now, when you put this same exact lens, this is a Sony 10-20G lens. If I put the same lens onto the ZV-E, it does not go into crop sensor mode. It doesn't have a crop sensor mode. You can manually put it in a crop sensor mode by using the zoom, which we have a zoom button here on the top, and zooming it to a 1.5 crop. But if you don't, you actually have a full sensor image. So is this important, or am I just yapping away here? All right, so I'm not just yapping away. It actually is important, because one of the things I did not like about the C2 is, even though it came out after the ZV-E1, they didn't put the dynamic active image stabilization into the newer camera. Now, it's not that much newer. It's just by months, okay? So this one has a stabilization called dynamic active image stabilization. It works really good on the wide-angle lenses. So my buddy Shane says it doesn't work that well if you go into like a 35mm lens or a 50mm lens. I haven't tested that, because I actually use the stabilization very heavily when I take a camera and I turn it towards me and I talk to the camera. They call that something, vlogging. So when I'm actually talking to the camera, I'm holding it like this, and I don't know if it's my age or if it's just the structure of my body, okay, but I do a lot of minor shaking. I'm not into heavy shaking, okay. So they have the dynamic active image stabilization on here, and they've just recently, I would say in the last month or two, added it where it wasn't on the C2. They added it to the C2. So now both cameras have this dynamic active image stabilization. So by putting on the 10mm to 20mm on here, I can actually hold this camera very comfortably without extending my hand. You see how I've extended it right out of the frame? Let's move over. Okay, so this gets tiring after a while. Now, because I have the 10mm lens on here, and it's a very light lens, and it's a crop sensor lens, and you go, well, why, Peter, why did you get a crop sensor lens? Why didn't you just buy a 17mm lens? Because I can't get a lens that is that light. So you guys that follow Sly, all right, she's introduced to all of us the importance, or the criticalness is a better word, for a light kit. So when you're out and you're going, wow, look at that snake on the ground, I better run, okay? And you're talking to the camera, by not having to have your hand extended that far, you just drop it down so your elbow's almost on your belly, but not quite. This is actually pretty comfortable. So that's why I have a crop sensor lens on a full sensor camera. So the C2, the A7C2, and the ZV-E1 are both crop sensor cameras. I'm sorry, full sensor cameras. They're not crop sensor cameras. Now, when I take this camera, meaning the A7C2, and I'm trying to train myself not to say this camera, that camera, this camera, because a lot of people watch this on the rewind, and basically, because I'm not moving around, you don't really have to watch. You can just listen. So the A7C2, when I turn on the dynamic active image stabilization, it crops it by almost 30%, which is a wallop of a crop. So now it's going to make the image closer again, which is why I have reached out wider and wider. I have an 11mm, and I like the 10mm. That one silly millimeter difference makes a difference when I go into the dynamic image stabilization. So when I do the same exact thing on the ZV-E1, this is one of the biggest differences. Not the only one. We're going to come across a couple of others. One of the biggest differences with the ZV-E1. I will put it on here. It doesn't crop. I'll restate that. I will put it on the ZV-E1, and it does not crop. So I get the black ring. I turn on the dynamic image stabilization, and it will crop. But the crop is not as heavy as the crop is on the A7C2. That makes a substantial difference for vloggers and content creators. So if you're like this with the camera, okay, and facing out, it doesn't matter all that much. But if you are going to turn the camera around and you're going to talk to it, then it does matter, because the dynamic active image stabilization, I flip the switch on, it'll add another almost 30% crop. But it's going to start from a full frame position, where this one is going to start from an APS-C position. So the A7C2 will automatically be in a cropped sensor because of the lens that I put on here. And then when I turn on active image stabilization, it's going to take it and add another almost 30%. Let's just say 30%. So that's what happens. So that's giving you, for a vlogger, content creator, a big advantage on the ZV-E1. So the ZV-E1, when it drops into a crop mode, because of the dynamic active, it's not going into a crop mode because of the crop lens on there. It's going into it because dynamic active demands that. So it gets rid of the vignette. So I'm spending more time at the beginning on that difference, because it's one of the biggest differences that's available. Now, that exists, I shouldn't say available. So that gives a big 10 positive steps for the ZV-E1. And it made it so that I purchased the camera. So I also own this camera. Now, when they added the dynamic image stabilization to the A7C2, I went, with the 10mm lens on here, I am now wide enough where I actually feel comfortable to turn the camera around and talk to it. Let's see if I got a battery going on in here. Yes, I do. Okay. So let's make sure I'm on the widest, and I am. All right. So to give me a comfortable position where I am at right now, this is where I put my elbow. It's actually still, even this close, my hair is flying up with the fan, even this close is still, when I say comfortable, I mean I don't like in your face when I talk to the camera. I don't want you to see the boogers in my nose, and I don't want you to see the hairs hanging out of my nose. So going to a 10mm lens on here and turning on the dynamic active. Let's make sure that the dynamic active is on. Give me one quick second, and no, it's not on. So we'll go on. All right, and now we'll see. All right, so now my face is a lot closer. So it's kind of like I cropped to my face, but not as bad as a lot of people are really in your face. So if you like the in your face look, you can even get a stronger millimeter lens. So what I got going on here is actually very comfortable. So that would be a huge reason to buy one camera over the other. So another reason would be this camera, meaning the A7C2, has got the same guts in it as the A7 Mark IV. The same 33 megapixel sensor, and some of the other features from the A7 Mark IV. So Sony gives you the same camera in different iterations, and that's a plus, because most of the other cameras don't do that. So A7 Mark IV, A7C Mark II, same camera. You take this and step it up and put the sensor in it from the A7CR, and you've got the A7C Mark II, Mark V, in the same body, that sensor in here. So it takes and gives you that very high megapixel in that same size body. So these size bodies is the introduction that Sly did for us. look for a small body if you're going to walk around a lot and be taking pictures of yourself or videos of yourself talking to the camera, or even just to outfit your bag with a lighter gear. That's why these cameras are here, because the ones that you're looking at now are big mamas. So this is the Nikon Z6 Mark III, full-size camera. They're not monsters like they used to be, 15 years ago, but I wouldn't want to take the camera that you are watching me through and do a vlog with and talk to you while I'm walking around out in the yard or driving around on the street or going to the market. It would get cumbersome. And it also attracts attention, which is another thing. This is one of the few cameras where you have a choice, the ZV-E1, where you have a choice of white or black. And on the A7C II, you have a choice of a white camera or, a black camera or a silver-topped camera, meaning just the top part is silver, but they don't offer the A7C II in white. Now, I used to think it was just aesthetics. A white camera might be something a person thinks is cool or is better, but it's got a couple of reasons for using and working with a white camera. They're both important. I was going to say the first reason, but it's not the first reason. One of two reasons, all right, would be in the heat. This body will stay cooler physically to the touch when the sun is beating down on it, where this camera gets red hot. Not because of the camera, because of the sun. It's absorbing the rays of the sun and saying, here, Peter, we want your hand to feel nice and hot. You got a little soreness in your hand? Hold the camera for a little bit. So the white camera comes in a serious way for the advantage of running cooler. And that is a major thing, especially if you're living on the lower part of the United States or in an area where the sun is stronger. Now, the other one is a surprise. And that is, I have a family that has a sensitivity to pictures, meaning that if you're going to actually raise a camera in the family room or the TV room, 1 second, everybody get your glass, take a sip. I know your throat gets tired listening to me for so long. If I raise a black camera, it's an immediate, don't take a picture of me. Don't take a picture. I don't want anybody taking pictures of me. Well, it's annoying, maybe to them, for me to take pictures, but as a photographer, it's very annoying when I want to take a picture and they go, no, don't take a picture, Well, that's why I brought the camera. It's to take pictures of the family and record the family event that we got going on here. It's for historical purposes, because I've got pictures from Christmas and Thanksgiving and Father's Day and Mother's Day with my mother and my dad in it. Now, my mother was notorious for don't take a picture. I don't think my dad ever did the don't take a picture routine. But my mother was like, don't take a picture of me. It's right away. It's like there's a cassette mounted and ready in her brain, Guess what? This one doesn't evoke that same feeling. So if you're in close quarters and you go like, well, I don't really like white cameras, well, get over it. You're there to take pictures. You're there to bring home the bacon. You're there to bring home good pictures. So that is what you want to do, is grab the pictures. So it becomes important. Instead, especially when I have the white wind muff on the top, I forgot, Randy just named it. It was a really cool name too. But because I don't like to say the dead cat. I think that's very rude. A lot of us like cats, and to call it a dead cat, no, it's not acceptable in my book. So the wind muffin, they put like a white puff. Do I have it on the other? Yeah, I have it on this camera. All right, so this is a windscreen, basically. And it actually is one of the better windscreens in terms of getting out into the high winds. It really knocks out almost all of the wind. You can't ever say everything, but I would say 99% of the wind gets knocked out with this little muffy thing here on the top. You see it? Here. See the little muffy thing on the top? Well, the white camera has a white version of that. And so when I raise the ZV-E1, the white camera, thanks, Randy, called it the muffler. So we called it the wind muffler, the fluffy muffler. But the muffler is the word I was looking for. So Randy coined that. So I'm going to try to remember and say that. The muffler, the wind muffler on the top. Yeah, I think I'll say wind muffler because it describes what it does. And it works really good. And with that white muffler on the top, I get, that's a cute cat from the girls. It's, oh my God, that's so cute, blah, blah, blah. And the guys will say, well, that's cool. But as guys, we would probably normally purchase the black version of this. And it would have the black muffler on the top. So the white one has the white muffler and the black has the black muffler. And the price on these cameras just went up by $300. So this was $21.98, and they'd put it on sale sometimes for $19.99 or $19.98 and stuff like that. And then the used ones would go down into the 1800s. Now the used one is almost $2,100, and the brand new body, black or white, is now $23.98. So the price has gone up on this particular body. So the people that really want to purchase one, even though it's none of you guys, so there's no sense making a commercial here. I do have this one up for sale, the ZV-E1, on the marketplace. Now, why are you selling it, Peter? So let's get back into the difference between the two cameras, the black one and the white one, and you'll find out why I'm selling this one, because there's something that I want to replace it. So the first thing is the size, very important. That also matches this, meaning the A7c II. So the weight, very similar. I would say this one feels a little lighter. The white one feels a little lighter than the black one, but not enough to make a difference. The black one, the A7c II, has a 33 megapixel sensor. The white one, the ZV-E1, has a 12 megapixel sensor. And people go like, oh, no, yes, okay. There's a reason why the FX3, the ZV-E1, and who's the third one? The A7s Mark III. There's a reason they have a 12 megapixel sensor, because they do great in low light. They're big, fat, juicy, light-sucking pixels, and that gives you a huge advantage. And this one will also shows the advantage, because the dual ISO winds up being 12,800. So at 12,800, suddenly she cleans up like there's no difference. Like, what's up with that? Okay. Now, I'm sure some people will find some difference, but it's no difference to me. Now, they both cameras, so if you're listening to the rewind, I'm referring to both of them. Both cameras have a single card slot. The white camera, the ZV-E1, does not have a EV, a viewfinder. The black camera, the A7c II, has a viewfinder. They both have single card slots, but they both use Sony's best battery. They both take the full-size battery. And this is where you enter with the camera that I want to purchase. And there's a couple of negatives to it. It doesn't come in white. It's the FX2. Doesn't come in white. And the ZV-E1 will do full frame 60p. The A7c II does not do full frame. I get them confused because there's so many full frames, not full frames. And the FX2 takes after the A7c II, and it does not do full frame in 60p, but in 30p, in 24p, It does full frame. But the FX2 has the 33 megapixel sensor. It has a dual card slot. And if you've got any concern or worries about heat, it also has a built-in fan. So the FX3, the FX30, and now the FX2 have a built-in fan. So that is why I'm willing to give up a couple of my comfort features, or whatever, to move into the FX2 because I like to walk and talk. I like to do the walk and talks. However, I'm not in a rush to sell this guy, the white one, the ZV-E1, because it's such a good camera. You could buy this camera and be happy for the next 5 years. The main reason you would not want to purchase the ZV-E1 is solely for the fact that it is a 12 megapixel sensor and you do heavy cropping. Now, I don't do heavy cropping most of the time, although lately where I've done a little bit of bird shots, I find myself doing heavy cropping. It doesn't really bother me, but I'm not entering any contests either. So if you use the denoise feature on your software, it probably solves all of that. So the FX2 is where I'm headed. I put this one up for sale, and what's the price? It's $18.50, and it includes the fan, and it's local here in Miami. So most of you guys are, almost all of you, well, I could think of a few, are not local. So this wouldn't be something for you to consider. And if you wanted to buy a used version of this, I think $2,100, B&H has it right now, and you could actually just order it from B&H and they will send you the used. Now, I didn't look to see what level, because they have 8, 9, 10, and good as new. So this one would be good as new. It basically went nowhere. It's been out maybe twice. And there you go. It goes to my brother's house on Saturday night when I was doing that. And it was always video. So it's got less than 1,000 shots on it. So this is what you call a great buy. So if you know somebody, tell them to look up my Facebook. So the A7c 2 gives me the advantage from the 33 megapixel, where I can crop very heavily on the bird shots, because I'm getting birds that hang around my pool. Now, what it does not have, that I really like a lot, does a great job, especially when you turn on voice isolation, is the vocal array on the top for the microphones. And even the new FX2 does not have the one that's on the ZV-E1. Big mistake on Sony's part, in my opinion. But I don't own them, so nothing I can do about it other than gripe. So this one doesn't do bad, honestly. But if you get a good wind, this will beat the white one will beat the crap out of the black one. You will get the wind like there's no tomorrow. So what you have to do is you've got to put an external mic with a big wind muffler on the top. So that is the comparison of the two cameras. If you think there's a winner for you specifically. It's not a winner in general. And that makes a difference, because Norm might do something different with his cameras compared to what Scotty would do with his cameras. And then I could see Mark will come down to him in a second. It'll also be different for him. Now, I was talking about ISO, and I wanted to say that the dual ISO on this one is, I think, 3200 and either 400 or 800 on the bottom. But the FX2 takes it to 4,000, so it gives you a little more, but none of them match the 12,800 dual ISO on the ZV-E1. So the ZV-E1 is not a slouch. The ZV-E1 is a camera that should be right at the top of your I want it list. And I actually want it and have it. Okay. So if I get rich quick, I'll just keep this one and buy the FX2. But to raise the money to purchase the FX2, it's got to be sold, or the FX2 will never get purchased. All right, so let's come over and say hi to you guys. I'll start at the beginning, even though we went through here. Jim Monday is hi, Peter and gang. Happy Friday. Hal says hi to all. And I just spoke with Jim just about 3 or 4 days ago. So I haven't spoken to you, Hal, in a while. And Woody saying hi, y'all. And Martin is going happy Friday from the UK. And I remember with Woody, I sang happy birthday to him. And where did I leave off? I'm going to jump down a little bit. Happy almost birthday to Woody from Jim Monday. Now Woody and Jim Monday kind of in the same section of the country, so they're a lot closer to each other than I am. And here's Scott. Scott, did you go out tonight, or do we have you the whole night long? I love it when Scott's in here. So happy almost birthday to Woody. How's the chicken, Norm? Bok, 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 bok. Randy saying happy birthday to Woody. Woody said thank you to everybody. No, everybody enjoyed the chicken dinner except for the chicken. And I did say hi to you, Jeff, right? Jeff, where are you? There you are. I did say hi. And Woody is saying thank you to Peter. And Jim says, wow, my A7 IV just got a new feature, dual ISO. Yeah, it's been there. But when I did the research, well, see, I said it didn't have it. And then somebody got mad because it's like, what are you saying? My camera doesn't have it. You don't do that to a guy. You don't tell him your camera's not as good as mine. Ha ha. You know, so I did do the research. I got the anger out from the conversation and I looked it up. And there's quite a few videos. When I say quite a few, I would say 5 or more that actually show the difference at the different ISOs. If ISO, let's say 2000 or 2800, and when you drop into 3200 on your Mark IV, Jim, it cleans up. So if you're at ISO 1600, 2000, or whatever the next one up is above that, 2400, move it to 3200 and you will have a better, cleaner picture. That's what the moral of the story is on that. So Jim is finishing his sentence, and Mark is saying, hi, Peter. Yo, Peter, how you doing? This is Mark in Chicago. How's life? How's your life? I miss you. I love you. I haven't even seen anything in sports lately. I'm thinking about getting an A7C-R. I believe it's one of the best cameras out there. See, now that kind of motivation is what moves a man to buy a camera. If he thought XYZ was one of the best cameras you can buy, you know, as a man, I'm a man, you're a man, we're all men, we want to target the best camera. So we give it that title. Now, I will say the A7C-R it's a darn good camera. You know who's got one, Mark? Randy. And you know who uses it a lot in his videos? Randy. So you can go to Randall Brander, and he's actually the next one under you. And you can kind of look through his videos, and you can see actual video in all kinds of with all kinds of lenses from Randy. So you've got an advantage here just from one member of the family. So, and this was Randy reminding me that it's the muffler, the fluffy muffler for the wind. And Mookie, you're always working late, buddy. I feel bad. Everybody's relaxing. We're having chilled water or whatever your drink is, their favorite, and you're working. I'm enjoying Peter's presentation and sense of humor. I hope everyone is doing well. You think I got a sense of humor? Really? Well, that's pretty cool. So we've only got 4 thumbs up. You're supposed to be patting me on the back with a thumbs up. Come on, pat me on the back, because it doesn't push the video out. Okay. YouTube isn't seeing it as like, oh, there's a lot of thumbs up. We need to put this out. No, we're live. Look, it's live. So give me a thumbs up, and it's kind of like a hey, or like Mark said, yo, boy, how you doing? So that's Mookie. Love you, Mookie. I'm sorry you have to be working, but I'm so glad that I can be with you while you're at work. And that makes me feel good because you're a good guy. I like you. You're pretty cool. So I just feel bad that you're not relaxing. Maybe you'll be relaxing when others are working. So, hey, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. So, Mark is saying, can you give me your opinion on what you would pick? So it would be the difference between the Canon R5 or the Sony A7C from a photographer's perspective. I would go, let me think before I just shoot off an answer. So you would be in one of the two systems because you marry the lenses and you date the body. I would say the company that is going to wind up being more aggressive towards helping you with features and stuff. Neither of them do really good with firmware updates. But I would say the A7C because I really like the way this camera feels. So if I know you've gone from Bronicas and some big mamas. So the R5 is a really solid camera, but the focus system in the A7C is superior to, in my opinion, of course. Remember to always add in your opinion, because some other guy will go, well, no, you're a jerk. You don't know what you're talking about. Well, in my opinion, the focus system on here, on the A7C2 and the A7CR, is superior even to the newest focus system on the A7R Mark II. This one probably, referring to the Sony focus system, is probably at the top. Now that's an argumentative statement because you've got your Nikon fanboys that'll come in here with guns blasting. But let's put it this way. You will notice a better focus system on the A7 RC or CR, got it backwards, than you will on the Canon. Now I believe the sensor, I can't remember what sensor is in the A7CR. Oh yeah, I just told you it's the same one as the A7 something R Mark V. So that would be their 61 megapixel sensor. What does the R5 have? I think it's in the 40s, 45. So you'll get a little bit of a more advanced sensor also. So Randy would be the guy that, because he has the R5, but I think he's got the R5 too, and Randy has the A7CR. So he's got both cameras. So his opinion would be a hands-on opinion. Mine would be kind of a hands-on opinion because I've worked with so many of the Sonys. But I would go to the Sony over the Canon. That would be that would be from my heart. That would be not wanting to steer you in any one particular direction just for the sake of steering you. They're not both equal. The Sony is a higher level camera, and you can confirm that with Randy. So that was Mark. I just finished answering on that question. Love you, Mark. Thank you for being here with me. It was burger night at the local Eagles Club. Enjoyed that. Now I'm trying to keep my eyelids open. Sleepy. You're getting sleepy, Scott. Watch my finger. You're getting sleepy. Listen to the monotony of my voice. So smooth. Scotty, you're falling asleep. Falling asleep. Until your mother calls you. I like burgers. I like burgers. Which do you believe is a better sensor for hybrid users between the two cameras? Yeah, that's why I went with the Sony, because I kind of think in terms of photographs and I think in terms of video. And I think you've got all kinds of wins with the Sony and just a really nice camera with the Canon. So I would go for the wins and newer technologies over just a really nice camera, especially since you're more likely to keep it for a while. I would go with the Sony. You're gonna have to buy lenses for the Sony, because I don't know if you've got any Sony lenses, but I don't know if you've got any Canon lenses either. I'm trying to remember what you're using over there. So here, Randy's going to give you his opinion right off the bat. My opinion between the R5 II. See, he didn't say R5 II. He said R5, Randy, and that does make a difference. But even between the R5 II and the A7C-R, I would still go with the A7C-R because of the better focus system. I think the focus system in the automatic mode becomes quite important. So with the Sony, you get cars, planes, bears, snakes, birds, males, females, left eye, right eye. Well, you do get the left eye, right eye with the Canon. Okay. So it would be on the glass that you own. The A7C-R is small and has one card slot. That is something. The R5 II has 2 card slots, and it's a bigger body. Bump. And, oh, good. He's going to answer the question that I couldn't think of the answers. So the A7C-R is 61 megapixels, and the R5 and the 5.2 is 45 megapixels, which would be what Canon is targeting Nikon. Remember, Canon and Nikon are in the eternal battle at each other's throats, not Canon and Sony. Sony hasn't woken up. I'm sorry, Canon hasn't woken up yet. Okay, they need to, but they haven't. So it kind of sounds like, well, I don't know, Randy went one direction or the other, but I would go with the Sony A7C-R. It's a mighty fine machine. You'll feel it in your hands that it's an amazingly solid machine. Okay, so Norm is doing, that's a 2 thumbs up and a live long and prosper. Oh, they do have the live long and prosper. Look, of the third one of the fingers that Norm put up. So he's got a thumbs up. It's a little too small for me to see the 2 different thumbs up. But the third one I can clearly see is a Spock. Okay. So Norm is sitting here on the side, and actually he's being good, because I know for sure he's a Nikon fanboy. So, and that's another thing. He likes the Nikon. He's in that environment. So I think you need to start off with the Sony environment, Mark, right off the bat and stay there, because I think you will stay there. And you'll get really, really good results with it too. Top of the line. Your little white camera has more hair on it than I do. I have the DSLR DF and the 610 plus the D500. Well, nobody can compete with Randy. He lives in a camera store. And he's got a guard dog there now. And Randy says he owns everything on the Z mount from Nikon. I didn't know that the A7C-R had only 1 card slot. Seems like a cheap thing to do. Ooh, so now, how now, brown cow? Did that knock it out for you, Mark? You were so hot a minute ago. But I'll tell you something. I have no problem with a single card slot. Just get yourself like the Sony Tough or SD cards or the SanDisk. Don't get the cheapies. You never buy a Lexar. I mean, I will say that clear. In my opinion, never buy a Lexar. That is banned from my camera shelf, bags, camera room, or my body. No Lexar. in my opinion only, okay? Somebody's going to come in here and go, I've been using Lexar for years, and they're fantastic. Good for you. I'm not wishing anything bad on anybody. I've just had many of my best buddies that are in the wedding business, Lexars have let them down over and over. They actually went out of business, and the company that's there now is not the same company. Okay, so I read that one, Mark. And I used to belong to the Eagles Club for a long time ago. Oh, that's pretty good. Who just said something about the Eagles Club? Don't make me have to remember all this stuff, guys. Somebody else would just commented that they were in the Eagles Club. So Randy's saying, Mark, are you into vlogging or streaming or outside or inside? The R5 has better stabilization. Okay, that's Randy's opinion. I'm not sure if I agree with him, but he does have hands-on. Well, wait a minute. I have an R5 Mark VI. Okay, so I have hands-on. Well, the Sony stabilization sucks until you get into dynamic active image stabilization. But you do get one more option. Remember, this is the key word. It's an option. You don't have to do it. It's an option. So you know what optional means? You can take it or leave it. Okay? And that is you have, with Sony, you have the option, take it or leave it, of using a third-party free software that will give you stabilization as though it was done on a, what do they call those things? Gimbals. So, but that's only video. So now what you do with stabilization on your pictures is a completely different story, and it's a completely different process. Stabilization can actually be a problem for you when you're doing pictures. So if here's the rule. I'm not going to go through the explanation. If you're shooting at 250 or 500 shutter speed or higher, turn your stabilization off. Most of your cameras, your modern cameras, will take care of that for you today already. Mark says, no, I'm a photographer first and a videographer second, and he doesn't do vlogging. But he looks really good, very handsome. When he gets in front of the camera with the sports stuff, it's like the women are going to flock to him like a magnet. It's like, dang, he's an Italian stallion. Got it. Then R5 with the new firmware update is the top-notch camera. Okay, so that's what Randy's recommending to you. And I would recommend to you the A7c R. So now you're back at square one. But go look at Randy's videos. You'll see the hands-on. Norm says he doesn't have any fans. Oh, he's not a fan of the electronic viewfinder. What do you mean you're not a fan of the electronic viewfinder? You're being too picky. Get the shot. See, when you get older, you get set in your ways and what you like and what you don't like. So it took someone like Sly to get me to start turning, okay, away from the big Norm cameras and start paying attention to the little ones that I always thought they're toys. Now, look, I got two of them and they're very important. That's why the R5, Mark 1, Mark 2, and all that stuff, they're not the future. They're the past. My opinion. Therefore, I would recommend the A7C, not the A7, the C R body. And you already came into the room determining that it is probably one of the best cameras. So don't let all of us just wash you around. Push you around is what I meant to say. I have Canon glass, but I'm willing to sell it if the A7C R is worth it. I think the Sony line is worth it, and the A7C R is worth it. So I don't see me growing my Canon line until Canon wakes up and starts to incorporate features, body sizes, and cameras that can compete with Sony and Nikon. I think Canon is the #1 selling body, but they are the #3 in terms of innovation and even just the model of the company itself. So Randy's saying to Mark, its bigger brother does not have the newer firmware or extra settings of the A7CR. Well, the A7CR I don't think compares with the A7 IV. I think competes with the A7 R Mark III. I think they've got the same. Norm says he needs 2 card slots. Only use top-level SanDisk. Good for you. Not worth the extra risk of using the cheap cards. No, it's not. And I say that with hands-on. So I agree with Randy. Because I was wondering why he said that camera. But he meant to say the A7 R5. Good for you, Randy. You're on the ball. You're not falling asleep on me. And the A7 R5 has the tilty floppy screen. It has a unique screen. Which camera am I on? Over here. It has a unique screen, and it's very nice. I wish the FX2 had that, because that's where I'm heading. Norm says the D500 and D7100 for stills, Panasonic ENG for serious video, P7800 for general video, or something I can't pronounce. Faitush! Scorp. I like the way it sounds. I find the optical viewfinder to be much easier on my eye. You know, I don't know if I have an optical viewfinder camera in here. I don't think I do. So I can't do that comparison. But that would be an important feature. In Randy's opinion, says I got rid of the A7R5 because of the A7CR, and that's why I'm recommending this A7. A7CR is a sleeper. It's a camera, just magnificent camera. It's got the same 61 megapixel, but I had the Pan. Oh, you're introducing something new. The S1R2, Canon R5 II, the Z8. I got rid of the Z9 because it was too big for me. It's too many cameras. It gets confusing. I don't think he's considering all those. Philip, hey, yaso kita pediasu, posiste simera, posiste popse. Están se caló, están se calá. I'm messing up the Greek. Sorry, guys. So Philip is my Greek buddy. Hi, Peter. Love you, Phil. Thanks for coming in. Saying hello to Peter. The Z9 is the best camera with longer battery time, auto capture and pre-capture. And Norm says the Z9 is wonderful. I just can't justify the expense and investment. So you know what's unique about the Z9? It's probably something that wouldn't be listed if I said, what's the advantages of the Z9? All right. So as a wedding photographer, that's what I did. Weddings, portraits, high school seniors. The big body Canons and the big body Nikons, they basically give you a form of stabilization because of their sheer weight, their sheer size and weight. You are much more likely to hold that camera level, steady, and not shake it because it's a lot more mass. Now, this is where people would come in. It's big. It's huge. Blah, 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 blah. Well, there's a reason. And there's a reason that the professionals use them. They use them because of their size, their durability. The Z9 and the Canon's R1, is it 1R or 1R, whatever, R1, you could take it on the top of a 6-foot ladder and drop it to the ground, and it will survive. How many people do you hear saying that? That's why when they go out in these desert adventures and someplace where they can't get to a camera shop, they take those cameras. Why don't they take a little camera like the, what was that new one? The new one of this thing. The RXR13. Why don't they take that? 61 megapixels, so light to travel with. It's because of the durability. Those big bodies are there for a reason. They're used in the Olympics and in the sports and Sports Illustrated magazine and whatever other magazines. When they buy the bodies for their photographers, they buy those jumbo bodies that can kill a person. Okay? So they do have a reason. Randy, the Z9 is wonderful. I can't justify the investment. I would pick up the D700, which is great. Boy, that it gives you a rich picture, and I don't know why, but I still remember it to this day. I had it. Okay. Norm agreed. Larger DSLRs are easier to hold steady, and the durability. That's the reason that they exist. That's why you'd buy it before you go on a desert safari. Prices are going up. Get it refurbished or get it used. Yes. And my little baby Eleanor is for sale. Okay, so don't worry about it. If you don't want it, don't. It's going to stay. It has a happy house, a happy home right here. All right, so we have done our hour. We've spent time with the familia, family. Love you guys. And you guys that are going to be watching this on the rewind, I did get to chit-chat with Carlos today, and he's doing okay with all the tsunami talk and the fires. And, boy, you'd think God was giving him a hint. Get out of, what do they call it? There was a saying, get out of something. Get out of town, but there was a town that they would pick out. So I love all you guys. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you not just sitting here by the wayside, but coming in, chit-chatting with me, because it's just me in a room and you. So it makes you kind of important to me. All right. What's the saying? Well, where's Randy's comment? Randy, you didn't fall asleep now, did you? Come on, big guy. Get lucky over there and type in your closing, because we're going to go. And we need you to close the show. Randy, Bo, Randy. Okay. So next Friday will be the second show in August. So God willing, and the bridge isn't up, and my goal is the sky and not the grave. And by the way, I didn't feel so good this week. So if you suddenly hear, oh, Peter passed away, don't be, oh my God. No, I'll be in heaven. I'll be happy. Okay? So just say he had a good life. He had a good run. I didn't like the guy, or I liked the guy, but don't be sad. I don't want people to be sad, because that's what makes it different when you're in the faith that I'm in. You've got something to look forward to. So Norm says, cool, I got a crown and a #1 rating. Thank you, Norm. Get out of Dodge. So Carlos, maybe you're getting a sign from the Lord. Get out of Dodge with the fires and the water. First is the fire, then he sends enough water to drown out the fires. Get out of Dodge. I'm teasing him. He's a really, all of you guys, all of you are amazing. Okay, take care, everybody. Have a good week. Mark says, I'll ask you later about how to go live and how to invite someone and how to go live with them. Send me an email. Send me your phone number. We can get on the phone and chat, and I can walk you through it, all this stuff. Not a problem. Okay, so Shane, you're coming in as I'm going out. Oh, well, he realizes it. Great stream, Peter. Thank you, Shane. Love you, buddy. Shane is such an awesome guy. Actually, all of you are amazing. So now, here it is. Goodbye, everybody. Stay safe. Keep smiling. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Now I'll say it. See you next Friday. God willing, and the bridge isn't up, and my goal is the sky and not the grave. All right, guys. Later, Gator. See you in a while, crocodile. All those fancy things. Bye.